Hello and a warm welcome to TBC News, our top stories. Dr. Samia and Museveni commission Kikagati Murongo hydropower plant.
That our historic and fraternal relations continue to improve day by day.
Tanzania celebrates 60 years of African Union with pride. Good evening, I am Nasa Kingu. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBC Online. President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan says Tanzania will continue to strengthen bilateral cooperation with Uganda in the investment and launch of Kikagati Murongo power plant project in Uganda, which will produce 14 megawatts. The power station is located across the Kagera River. Here's a report prepared by Charles Mwebea, read by Faidan Gaga.
The power station is located across the Kagera River, and already the two countries, Tanzania and Uganda, have started to benefit. The construction of the project started in 2017 and was completed in February 2022, and now is officially launched by the Ugandan and Tanzanian presidents, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan and Yoweri Museveni. President Samia Suluhu Hassan says the project is an evidence of how the two countries cooperate in the issues of economic and investment.
That our historic and fraternal relations continue to improve day by day. And of course, there is a wider room to further in areas of trade and investment. Project is going to immensely contribute to that effect.
The Ugandan President, Yoweri Museveni, used the opportunity to denounce the bureaucracy amongst some executives that have led to the project to delay.
It is strange for someone to invest in a foreign country instead of their own country. We should thank and welcome that individuals and not otherwise.
Luca Buljan, who is the director of Berkeley Energy, which is the parent company of Kikagati Power Company Limited, which manages the project, proposes initiation of another Nsogezi Rakagati project on Kagera River.
We permitted to develop this project under a similar framework as Kikagati Murongo. This would bring the total installed capacity on the Kagera River to over 50 megawatts. Given the very high plant load factor of these projects, this would further strengthen energy supply to these regions of Uganda and Tanzania.
The Minister for Energy in Tanzania, January Makamba, assures that his ministry will deal with all obstacles that may contribute to setting back the timely completion of the second Nsogezi Rakagati project that is being built in the Kagera River.
Taxation issue. There is a joint task force between Uganda Revenue Authority and Tanzania Revenue Authority. Our joint permanent commission directed these authorities to deal with the matter.
On the part of Tanzania, the 7 megawatts produced through Kikagati Murongo power project will assure reliability electricity for Kyerwa, Karagwe, and Misenyi districts.
Grand achievement there for both countries, Tanzania and Uganda. President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has arrived in the country from Doha, Qatar, accompanied by his wife and his delegation. Dr. Mwinyi was in Doha to represent the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, at the third Historical Sites Museum, and he also witnessed signing of investment agreements between the Zanzibar Investment Program. Africa celebrates 60 years of the Organization of African Union, OAU, and its successor, the African Union, AU. Tanzania, being one of the key members of the Union, has been benefiting through employment, leadership positions, and free trade within Africa. The acting director of the Africa Department from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Ellen Maduhu, explains further those benefits and the overall success of the Union when she spoke with my colleague Lulu Mohammed.
As you know now, the African Union has 60 years since it was established, and there are a lot of achievements that have been to many African countries. The first achievement, what I can say, it's the unity. Putting all 52 countries into one union is an achievement on itself. The second one, as you are aware, when the African Union was established, most countries were still under colonialism. So the African Union was able to fight, members of colonialism, and now we can witness that almost all countries in Africa are free, they are independent.
So specifically, what do Tanzanians benefit from the union?
There are some positions in the United Nations, for example, that in order for a Tanzanian to get that position, maybe at the Secretariat, you need members to support you through votes. So Tanzania achieved those positions. For example, at a certain time, Ambassador Asha Rose Migiro was the Deputy United Nations Secretary General.
So what are the things that are still a challenge despite the existence of the African Union?
There are many challenges. Like any other bloc in the world, it's not the challenges are not unique only for Africa. All blocs around the world has some challenges. Any bloc has some challenges. Even the United Nations itself, the biggest challenge always is finance. Funds that can run the programs of the African Union, it is a challenge because difficulties to contribute to the organization. In that regard, the organization programs that are being, developmental programs that are being run by the organization, the African Union, they are being financed by the Africans themselves.
Thank you very much, Luluwa Muhammad. The Uhuru Torch Race leader, Abdallah Kaimu, urges the citizens to support the government in tree planting programs as an important step to conserve environment and water sources, which in turn will also help to curb the effects of climate change. Here is a report prepared by Henry Mabumo, read by Faithan Gaga.
Leading hundreds of residents of the Kigamboni district in Plant Trees campaign to fight against climate change and conserve the environment, especially at water sources, he insists the move will also help to improve the ecology and the economic activities.
We
have to make sure that we preserve all water sources. We have to plant trees around water sources. Moreover, we should conduct our activities around water sources. DAWASA has been doing a great job in improving our water sources.
The DAWASA acting to Ukonga and Morocco area, the areas which now source water from Ruvu River.
Matumizi ya maji ya huku bado ni madogo kuliko maji yanayozalishwa hapa.
The amount of water being used is smaller compared to the amount of water being used. We have established a project which will produce more water and it will be supplied to Ukonga. And this will enable those who get water supply from Ruvu to get it from Kigamboni. This is a strategic project, 1,000 people, and this project is ongoing.
Residents who participated in the tree planting exercise have congratulated the government for the major efforts done to improve water services in every corner of the country. The Uhuru Torch this year carries a message conserving the environment, save water sources for the well-being of living things and the national economy.
Great strides there by DAWASA. The government continues to improve community services, especially in the areas of health and education in the district of Kwimba in Mwanza region, after providing the district with more than 9 billion Tanzanian shillings during the year 2022-2023. The money will also be used to complete the construction of classrooms, clinics, and district hospital. Here's a report prepared by Reginald Ndesika, read by Apasia Ringo.
This has been revealed in the meeting involving Kwimba councillors, whereby various councillors testified how the funds went has improved community services in their areas.
Kwenye kata ya Sumve, ametupatia milioni 372.
She has provided Suve Ward with 372 million Tanzania shillings to build dormitory, 4 classrooms and a toilet with 6 halls.
We were encouraging them to donate, but they complained a lot. But after these changes, they are all grateful to the president.
The Kwimba Executive Director, Happiness Msanga, says the funds have helped to complete the construction of the district hospital buildings and medical equipment, which have already started providing services. The buildings, and they are complete. The hospital was opened on May 22nd this year and is already providing services. Also to improve community services in Kwimba District Council. The district dates back to 1927 with a poor infrastructure. Through the BOOST project, we have received $1.5 billion for the first phase. These funds will be used to build 2 new schools, 15 classrooms, and toilets.
The projects listed here are going to solve their challenges and concerns, but more importantly, they are going to improve the education sector.
The government of President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan has been allocating funds to improve community services in the Kwimba District Council.
From Mwanza region, now we go to Tanga region, where the Tanga port invites both national and international business communities to take advantage of the improved cargo transportation services at the port. The port has increased the capacity of handling cargo shipments to 3 million tons per year from the previous 700,000 tons. The 429.1 billion shillings project is expected to be completed early next month. Our reporter Rehema Sibabili is in Tanga and she has prepared the following report.
Tanga Port is the second largest port in Tanzania, which has now made an improvement to the area of docks and depth of the water to allow big ships to enter and anchor at the port.
Speaking at the port, port manager Masudi Mrisha says due to the improvements, the port can now accommodate large ships, which has contributed to increasing efficiency and reducing the cost of handling cargo.
Kina cha maji kimeongezeka sasa kutoka mita 3 mpaka 13.
The depth of the water has increased from 3 meters to 13 meters. In the past, we were unable to handle large ships arriving at the port. Now the capacity of the port to handle large ships is up. After this project, we brought in 6 ships with a length of 150 to 200 meters in 3 months. Before the improvements, we were able to serve 7,500 tons of cargo per year. But after the improvements,
Representing the stakeholder of the Tanga port, Thorea Halfan stated that the changes will lower the cost of carrying cargo via the port, particularly with regard to double handling fees.
As one of the stakeholders here in Tanga, would like to invite the other also stakeholders around Tanzania to come and use the Tanga port. I would say with these renovations that we're expecting it to be more and more efficient as time goes on, since the renovations are still going on. But for the time that we have spent here, we believe that it will be more convenient even for other clients to use this port.
Through the improvement done by the port will be able to service about 3 million tons of cargo annually compared to 700,000.5 of cargo as of now. Reporting from Tanga Port, Rehema Sebabili, TBC News.
Thank you very much, Rehema Sebabili. Minister of State, the President's Office, criteria that have been set. Apasia Ringo has more details.
Simba Chawene has made a statement to the Parliament in Dodoma following the question posed by Member of Parliament Issa Mtevu, who wants.
They went to the same schools and the universities, but there are still many complaints about lack of employment opportunities in many districts in the country. Is the government ready to provide a list of those who employed opportunities while also specifying the district in which they came from. We are still working on this, and a team has already been formed to work on it. It may seem like it is a very easy process, but in reality, it is kind of difficult to form a centralized system.
On the other hand, the Deputy Minister for Livestock and Fisheries, David Selinda, says fish farming community in the country have been urged to take advantage of the opportunity by forming groups and establishing fish farming cooperatives so that they can be trusted and be given concessional loans. He made the appeal immediately after the Busanda Member of Parliament asked the government what strategy it has to empower fishing business community who have formed groups in Busanda.
Katika mwaka wa fedha 2022-2023 Wizara kwa kushirikiana na Benki ya Maendeleo.
In the financial year 2022-2023, the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, in collaboration with the Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank (TDB), is implementing a project that aims at providing affordable loans. These loans will cater to fish farming inputs such as fish cages, fish feeds, and fish breeds. A total of 3,154 fish farmers are benefiting from this project. I therefore urge fish farmers in the country to continue to actively seek for the opportunities by joining.
Human Settlements Development has tabled its proposed financial budget for the year 2023.
The presence of enough experts on drone technology for farm monitoring and pesticide spraying is expected to bring about major.
This has been stated in Dar es Salaam by the Director General of Tanzania Plant Health and Pesticides Authority (TBHPA), Professor Joseph Ndunguru, immediately after closing the training on drone technology at the Civil Aviation Authority (TCAA) College.
Pilot drones, these are a facility that we are of diseases and also application of pesticide in a precision and sustainable manner. Apart from increasing productivity, we are going to witness extension of markets, also to create jobs and employment to youth and women, and so many benefits.
The representative of the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO Nyabenyi Tipo, and the representative of the European Mission in Tanzania, Cedric Merel, say that the project will help to bring productivity not only to Tanzania, but also to other countries that rely on food products from Tanzania.
With this training, there is big opportunities for Tanzania to be able to meet the sanitary and phytosanitary measures when they are looking at the external market. So I'm very grateful that Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority and the Training Institute, which is part of it, were able to take these students for 7 months. And this is a very intensive training for them to be able to graduate today.
It's a critical step because it is very good to have a healthy production, and the quality of the fruits and vegetables in Tanzania are excellent. And with this program, we aim to address it and to increase the ties between Tanzania and the European Union.
The Acting Director General of the Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority, TCAA, Daniel Malaga, comments on how important the training is, and some of the young people who have benefited from the training says that the training will help them in doing their jobs effectively in their stations.
It is our wish that the transformation of agriculture will start from these 20 graduates who are ready now to work, starting using their knowledge that have been acquired from this training.
I think drone will be successful in agriculture for control surveillance to determine different or to detect disease in different areas. That will be very potential for business in our country to import and export a pure, true product that have been safe for human consumption to facilitate the business in general.
Because it's going to be beneficial for us in case of improving our performance in our working stations. As you know, drones has many utilities or uses as we use it in agriculture.
20 young people from Tanzania mainland and Zanzibar have benefited from the training. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for international news. And here is international news compiled by Ramadan Mpenda and read by Flora Mwano.
A church during the 1994 genocide had been arrested in South Africa. Former police officer Fulgence Kayishema had been on the run since 2001 when the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, ICTR, indicted him for genocide over his role in the destruction of the Nyange Catholic Church in Kibuye region. Kayishema is alleged to have orchestrated the killing of approximately 2,000 Tutsis at the Nyange Catholic Church during the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. He was indicted by the United Nations International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda in 2001, which charged him with genocide and crimes against humanity for killings and other crimes committed in the Kibuye region. Irregular clashes between Sudan's army and a paramilitary force spilled over into Thursday, puncturing the relative calm in the capital Khartoum and raising the risk that a week-long as the warring parties was reached after 5 weeks of warfare in Khartoum and outbursts of violence in other parts of Sudan. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, and has worsened a humanitarian crisis, forced over 1.3 million people to flee their homes and threatened to destabilize the wider region. Telecommunications have been cut off and gangs roaming on the city on motorcycles have attacked the hospitals, government and aid offices, banks and homes. The and airstrikes by the army. The army in turn accused the RSF of attacks on the country's mint, has sentenced the 3 Israel soldiers to short prison terms for abusing a Palestinian man and obstructing an investigation into the incident. The Israel army said in a statement that the soldiers were convicted of abuse and the third was additionally convicted of exceeding his authority and endangering a man's life or health. 2 of the soldiers were sentenced to 6 days in prison for abuse, while the third was sentenced to 40 days for exceeding his authority and endangering the Palestinian man's life or health. They were also demoted and given additional suspended sentences for obstructing court proceedings.
That was international news. All the latest in sports up next. And in sports news, Young Africans Funds Director Haji Mfikilwa says tickets provided by the stakeholders for CAF Confederation Cup final between Young Africans against USM Alger which will be played at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on Sunday will be divided equally to the soccer fans. Mfikilwa told TBC News in Dar es Salaam that equal distribution of the tickets will motivate spectators to turn up in numbers to support Yanga for the crucial match.
But the objective behind is to make sure that if not 100% of the fans given the tickets, but 98%, they will come to the ground and support the team. So Young African leadership discussed how they will distribute their tickets equally to the football fans.
Young Africans welcomes USM Alger in the first leg match of CAF Confederation Cup final on Sunday before they play the second leg match in Algeria on June the 3rd. All the best to Yanga for the pride of Tanzania. The Tanzanian amateur golf players say that they train hard gearing up for the Inspire African Golf Open, which kicks off on Friday at Kilimanjaro Golf Court in Arusha. Speaking after their final preparation in Arusha, the golfers add that they will use the home ground advantage to outclass their opponents and win the tournament.
I have finished 18 holes in practice. The golf court is in good shape. They will remain home. I have experience of this golf court. I hope I will do better. Players from different countries have arrived. We hope that they will improve the standard of the golf in the country.
Amateur golf players from Kenya, Uganda, Ghana, South Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, and host Tanzania will participate in the Inspire African Golf Open tournament in Arusha. And that's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours from TMA.
Hello and welcome to the next 24 hours of the forecast starting tonight at 9 p.m. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, my name is Ramadan Omari. Let's start with the windy flow pattern for tomorrow. Coastal wind is expected to flow at 30 kilometers per hour over the entire coast, and the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. Over Lake Victoria, southern part of Lake Tanganyika and Lake Nyasa, wind speed is expected to reach 20 kilometers per hour. And over northern part of Lake Tanganyika, wind speed is expected to reach 10 kilometers per hour. And rainfall models are showing signal of rainfall over a few areas, especially along Lake Victoria Basin, northeastern highland, and northern coast. And tonight, most part of our country are expected to feature just partly cloudy condition. And tomorrow, few areas, especially over Mara, Mwanza, Kagera, Geita, and the Kigoma regions are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers, and sun period. While over northeastern highland, northern coast, together with Morogoro region, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over a few areas, and sun period. And the remaining regions are expected to feature just partly cloudy condition and sun period. And now let's have a look on the next 4 days of forecast over some regions of our country. Tanzania Meteorological Authority, that is all for today. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
That marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingo. Good night.
TBC1, ukweli na